With my entire bench full of flagged players in FPL, can I actually survive game week 31 without a wild card? Let's take a look in my latest team selection video. Getting straight into things with the goalkeeper and defenders, we have straight away an injured player to talk about. We have Areola injured for his next game. Well, we don't know where he's out for the next game, but if I had to guess, I would say more than likely he wasn't taking goal kicks at all during their match against Newcastle. By the way, what an exciting match that was. That was really good to watch. But Fabianski coming on at halftime, Areola going off. It just doesn't look good for Areola in the future. So Dubravka, of course, takes his spot. Arguably the better fixture of the two anyway. Dubravka having Everton at home. Of course, even at home, Newcastle are going to concede goals. They are absolutely rubbish defensively. And with the injuries they've got, God help them. But yeah, Dubravka gets the goalkeeping spot. In terms of defensive line, back line even, I'm pretty happy with the players I'm having to start this week. A bit disappointed I'm missing out on Gusto with the Man United at home fixture. He did pick up a slight knock as a hamstring issue in his match against Burnley. It was around the 86th minute he came off. There is a good chance we do get a bit of information about Malo Gusto before his match on Tuesday, but yeah, I'm not too sure how that's going to play out. We'll just have to wait and see on that. For the moment, it's probably just the best if you've got him to bench him if you can. Just, you know, I'm not too sure about him. Yeah, backline, I'm really happy. The only person I'm not really too pleased about playing is Estupinian. I think the attacking threat of Estupinian is not necessarily gone, but extremely rare now. I feel as though last season you could play Estupinian and, you know, expect him to do something at least, and it's just not happening this season with Brighton and Estupinian. But you know, the Brentford fixture away from home, it doesn't necessarily scream attack and returns from Estupinian. Let's move along to the next player though, Gabriel, Luton at home. That screams a clean sheet, but in typical FPL fashion, Arsenal are probably just going to concede a late minute goal and just wipe out the clean sheet. Pedro Porro, West Ham away. Not a bad fixture. Do I expect a clean sheet? No. Attack and returns, though? Potentially. I think it will be a hectic game with quite a few goals. Hopefully, Pedro Porro can be involved somehow. It's Barney with Crystal Palace at home. I think that's an anything game. Any team could win that game, in my opinion. Is there going to be a lot of goals? Probably not. Maybe a good chance for a clean sheet. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, midfield is where it gets a little bit interesting because we could possibly take a -4 hit to get somebody in. But let's concentrate on who we've got currently. So, Son, Palmer, Foden and Saka. Saka with probably the better fixture out of the four with the Luton at home, sharing that, of course, with Gabriel. Foden, Aston Villa at home. Palmer, Manchester United at home. And Son with West Ham away. Now, Palmer with the Man United at home fixture, I actually don't mind that much. I think Palmer's averaged around 7 points every game he's played, which is really impressive. So, you know, a possible captaincy shout, either Palmer or Saka, in my opinion. Foden, this is where the transfer could come into place. Of course, Liverpool have Sheffield United as a fixture, and it is at home. So Foden could be taken out, Saka could be dropped in, and because he is injured, this forward I have, Watkins, I could just take Watkins out and just put in a cheap enabler type player. For example, Fulham's Muniz, being on form recently. Could be somebody else, of course, but just off the top of my head, it could be someone like that. And then you'd, of course, get Salah in and Foden would leave the squad. But with Foden's fixtures up and coming, you've got Palace, Luton, and then Brighton in 34. Do I really want to get rid of someone who's playing quite a lot of minutes in one of the best teams in England, and quite frankly, Foden is on form. I'm not too sure. The only thing that I can kind of think about and say that it will be worth it because of is the double in 34 for Liverpool. Of course, Liverpool now are going to go into a fixture run of Sheffield United, Manchester United away from home, Palace at home, and then the double in 34 of Fulham away and Everton away. But both away fixtures, not the best, but I don't think it matters too much. So yeah, Salah could join the team, but it would cost a -4. Would it be worth it? The way he played against Brighton, I think it really could be worth it. Salah could have left that game with a hat-trick and more, but it just didn't work out from on the day, which is, quite a relief considering I didn't own him in game week 30. But overall, for the midfielders, I'm a pretty happy spot. I don't mind keeping Foden, especially with the up-and-coming fixtures, but do I want to miss out on Salah, especially with the way he played against Brighton? I'm not too sure about that. Now, forwards. We've normally had 3 forwards for the majority of the season, but showing up with 2 forwards, Solanke and Haaland. Interesting talking points about Haaland, but let's start with Solanke. Crystal Palace at home. Again, a game I'm not too sure how it's going to turn out. Hopefully Bournemouth come out on top, considering I have 2 Bournemouth players currently. Can he go get attacking returns? Absolutely. And with the fixtures of Palace, Luton, Manchester United, and then Aston Villa, you got some good ones in there in the next 2 weeks, and then could you maybe move him out? I don't think so. You've got that double in 34. I think you just got to stick with Solanke. He's popping up here and there with the odd return. He's having a really good season. For me, obviously, he just stays. Haaland, I seem to have these conversations every 3 to 2 weeks where we talk about Haaland, and I'm like, he's just had a blank. He's been absolutely pocketed. Yes, of course, he's played Arsenal in 30, and Arsenal are a very, very good defensive team, but is it time that we can move from Haaland into someone else? Could we get more aggressive with our transfers and maybe push up rank even more? It's hard to say because Aston Villa, the fixture of Aston Villa is at home. We know Haaland plays a little bit better at home. Then you've got Palace, Luton and Brighton. And also good fixtures after that, up all the way up until the end of the season. He absolutely could be a set-and-forget player. But when money comes into play and we're kind of struggling to get players like Salah, Saka and Son with Haaland in the same team, maybe it is time to move Haaland along. But I have to mention, with Watkins being injured, I think it's not quite the right time for Haaland to be leaving our sides whatsoever. We can always just go away from Watkins into a cheaper forward and then fill that funds into the midfield like I could possibly do with getting Salah in, removing Watkins and getting someone like a Muniz in or someone like that, a cheaper enabler. But let's just quickly cover captaincy again, just to recap. I think Salah, if I do take this -4, would be a favourite for a captaincy. But if Foden does stay and I just roll the transfer or maybe even just do a simple 1 free transfer, I feel as though Saka and Palmer are my favourite options. More leaning towards Saka, but I don't mind going for a little bit of a punt on a Palmer. Will Haaland get the captaincy? I don't think so. I think it's now the narrative around Haaland and captaincy every single week has changed. I feel as though people are understanding you don't need to do it every single week. He's not going to score a hat-trick every single week. Hopefully, I jinx it completely and he goes and starts scoring hat-tricks again up until the end of the season, because that would be really nice to see. But, yeah, I think it's sort of slowed down for Haaland at the moment. Is he going to pick it back up for the end of the season? I would say yes, but can I see it anytime soon? I'm not too sure. It's a difficult one, of course, but, yeah. Saka, favourite captain at the moment. Possibly getting Salah in for a -4, and then he would turn into my captain. But overall, flags everywhere, but I think I'll survive without a wild card for maybe a few more weeks. But of course, we have to wait and see. just to end the video there, I just want to thank you so much for watching to this point. Now, if you have enjoyed today's video and you want to see more content of mine, please drop a subscribe and a like on this channel. It should tell you when my latest videos are out. But that is absolutely everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.